Hello everyone, and welcome to Math 1324, section 0190. This is online 8-week for Math for Business and Social Sciences. So my name is Terry Barnes, and I'll be with you on this relatively short journey. Remember that we're going to do this in half a semester. So we have to hit the ground running and be really aware of the due date. So my purpose in this video is to acquaint you with what the course looks like, where things are, and what the expectations are. So let's first start by looking at this area right here. This is the announcement area, and I will put announcements at least weekly, probably on Sunday, to remind you of perhaps what you should be looking for in the following week, or anything else that comes up. So be sure you check your announcements. The nav bar up here, let me change something, because right now it's my nav bar. Let me make it the one you're gonna see. Okay, so here's the nav bar: announcements, assessments, where you can look at attendance or your grades through Brightspace. This is where you'll do your homework and tests, and this is your math lab grade book. This is the one where the grades start, and they do get synced and will show up in the Brightspace area. And here's content, but I have put the content that you really need right here in this browser, so you can live right here mainly. Let's go look at some of these things. So instructor plan, let's go over a few main items here, not the whole thing. You can read that on your own. Here is my information. So my email, my office phone, office location. So if you happen to be on campus and you want to come by and visit, or you need help with something specific, let me know. And if you let me know you need to come by and see me, I will arrange to be there at that point when you need to see me. Required text and materials, that's included in your tuition. Your inclusive access gives you an electronic text, and so you don't have to buy a separate book. You do need a graphing calculator. Let's see what else. All right, attendance. So this is a new guideline, and we are required to drop students from the roster if you have not been in and participating by the census date. And so I will remind everyone with an announcement, but that census date for this course, I believe, is August 26th. That means you need to get in ASAP and at least do one assignment so that you don't get dropped for non-participation there. And then at 60% of the semester, if you have not been participating, if you've missed more than 25%, you can be dropped with a grade of W. If you get dropped here for non-participation before the census, it doesn't count against you as far as drops, but it would take you out of the course. So keep in mind, get in, get busy. We'll look at the calendar in a minute. Grading information. My course is separated into homework, tests, and final exam. There's a homework assignment for every section. You can work on those as many times as you want till you get the grade you're happy with. Hopefully that's 100. That counts 30% of your total average. Tests, those count 50% of your final average. And this red is important. Before each test is available, online or face-to-face, you have to have completed all the homework with a 70 at least on each section. So you have to pass your homework before the test will open for you. Final exam is cumulative, and it counts 20% of your grade. So that is basically how the grading goes. Now, we talked a little bit about the attendance policy. For this online course, attendance is based on participation, and you have to work each week. You have to do at least something each week to be counted present. If you don't work in a week, that counts as an absence, and I will notify you on Sunday for the previous week. So the work needs to be done Sunday to Saturday to count for that week. You're allowed 2 such absences, but if you get a third, you could be dropped. Remember, we're finishing this in 8 weeks. So those are the high points of the syllabus. Be sure you read through all of that. Next is that calendar. So let's look at the calendar. The calendar is a suggested calendar. By that I mean I have taken 8 weeks and broken apart all the assignments into relatively equal groups, but sometimes more than the others. They are not due dates. These aren't due week 1. Everything is ultimately due down here at the end. But if you wait, you're going to get really bogged down. You're not going to be able to do it all in 1 week. So this is a way to say, well, in week 1, let's try to do these 4. In week 2, let's do these 2. We'll take exam chapter 2 and we'll start this. You may not get to all of it. That's okay. You're going to find your rhythm. You're going to find what works for you. So you have complete flexibility, but you have complete responsibility. Ultimately, you're making your schedule. So that is our calendar. Again, here is my contact info. So if you don't have the syllabus printed and where that's in, right in front of you, you could go here and you've got my math office number and my phone number and my email. So that is there for you as well. Next thing in our contact box is handouts, and there's quite a few for this course. This yellow packet is algebra stuff, and there is a good bit of algebra in the course. So anything that comes up that's algebra related, that it might be in here, that might help you. It's about a 15-page packet that I give out in college algebra. Matrices, that's in chapter 2, so that might be a helpful one to go ahead and print. Chapter 3 and 4, we get into some linear programming and graphing. There's this form you're going to need, so they're right there. Formulas for chapter 7, and then there's some Venn diagram blanks that you may need. Z-scores table, and then formulas for chapter 10. So there's quite a few things that might be helpful for you under handouts. There's also a final exam review, so when we get closer to that point, we'll talk about the final exam. Let's go back to home here. All right, now here is your e-text. If you need the book, you can click there and you'll open it in another window. I don't think you'll need it because I've pulled out everything that I expect you to know from here, but you certainly have this available. And also here you have important student resources. Go through that, look at those. That could be helpful. But this is the big one, problem sets, lectures, and videos. If we click there, the first one is problem sets. When we go there, there's a section for each chapter we're covering. Chapter 2, and there's the 6 sections of problems. If you were in the classroom, I would say, okay, pull out your 2.1 problems. We're going to look at those in class. So you could print this or just look at it. There should be, this one I think has 7 questions. And so this is what you want to practice on to get ready to do the homework. So let's go back. Let's go back and look at the next part. So here we have lecture notes. That's the second thing. It's set up the same way by chapter. If we go to chapter 2, there's 2.1. And these are the notes that if you were sitting in class, we would be taking. And we would talk about how to solve some systems, and you would get these notes. And then connected to that are those same problem sets, but worked out. Not just the answer, but worked out. And so we go down here and we see that goes through number 7. So problem sets blank, and then the lecture notes and problem sets there. Then if we go back, we're going to look at the video. So we're back here in the video lecture playlists. And you can see that there's one for every chapter we're covering. And these are in my YouTube channel for this particular course, and that will pull up the Chapter 2 videos. Now 2.1 has 2, I think it must have cut off, maybe that's why I have 2 parts. But most of them are not really long. You can see down here we have 9 minutes, 7 minutes, and you can see that when we're using the calculator, I've got a calculator emulator in there showing you the buttons to push. So the video with the lecture note, and I'm going through those lecture notes and those problems in the video. So that should get you ready to do the homework. So let's go look at the homework. Okay, so let's assume that you have gone through stuff for 2.1 and you're ready to do the homework. You can come up here and we should pull it all up. So you can see the due dates for everything is October 10th at 11:59 p.m. Grades are due the next morning on the 11th. So we want to keep that in mind as we go through here. Now, these little flags remind you that you have to pass everything in that Chapter 2 before that test will open. So let's look at 2.1. It's a clickable link, and that has 7 questions. Let me open this one because I think I did that for another course and showed it. All right, so let's just get a brand new question. Okay, so this should look like what's in the problem set. Different numbers, but the kind of problem that's in the problem set. So we have an ABC to choose from. So if we choose A, when we do, we need to click in this box here and note that it says type an ordered pair. Well, when I clicked in the box, I got these icons down here. And if there's not there that you need, you can hit more. And there's a lot of other things, Greek letters. There's matrices down here if you had to put in a matrix. There's pi, and there's all kinds of things. So you want to know that those are there. Well, this says type an ordered pair. If we look down here, right here is an ordered pair icon. If I click it, well, I don't have to worry about parentheses or anything. I just type my numbers. So if I put a 2, I have no idea. I'm not even looking at the question. 2 and a 7. Down here at the bottom, we're going to hit check answer, and it's going to give you an explanation if you don't get it right. Okay, I'm going to change one number, see if maybe I could guess on that one. You won't be guessing, you'll be working it, but I want you to see what happens. Okay, so check answer, still wrong. Now it says final check down here. I'm going to go ahead and let it check it. The correct answer was 1-5. I answered 1-7. At this point, you can look and go through the problem and try to figure out, okay, how did they come up with 1-5? What did I do wrong? Let me relook at my work. You could go ahead and hit similar question and redo it, or you can go on to the next question and come back later. Every time, that's the way it works. On the 3rd try, if you don't get it, you have the option to get a new question or go on. Also down here at the bottom, you can view an example, but you've already got examples in your lecture notes. But if you need another one, there's one there. But you can hit get more help, and there's a textbook video, there's a textbook section, calculator help, or ask my instructor. This is the one that I like for you to use if you're going to ask me a question about a problem. If you click that, let's get that up. So it sends an email to me, and it sends your specific question that you're on with your numbers. You can type in here whatever you need to say. I've tried this, I don't know what to do next, or here's where I'm getting stuck. But I'll have your specific numbers to look at, and I can get back to you as soon as I can, and that's the best way for me to help you. And you would just hit send. So that is a really good way for you to get help. All right, so I think that shows you the homework. Let's look at the tests. Okay, so we're here, and say you've done all of these and you're ready for the test. You'll click here, and it's going to tell you a prerequisite warning, and it won't let you in. It'll let me bypass this as an instructor. So if I hit continue, I'm just going to show you this part. If you want to view a tutorial on how to enter your answers, you can do that here. Most of you probably are okay with that. You have 2 hours to complete this. You have 2 tries. So take it the first time. If you do well, then you're good, you're done. If you don't like your score, then you go back to the grade book, not here, but you go to the grade book and hit review. It'll show you everything you missed, and you can go in and figure out what you did wrong and how to do it better, study a little bit more, and then take that test again. The higher of the grade will count in your gradebook average. So you'll see 2 grades, but only one is actually figuring. Then you would hit start test, and it would be 14 questions, and there'll be a little clock that shows as you're going. So you want to keep that in mind as you work. But that's the homework and the test, and you would do your final the same way. So let's look back. Let's cancel that. Down here at the bottom is the final exam, and you'll note that you have 150 minutes and you only have 1 try on it. So you need to study for that and make sure you do as well as you can. The others are all 2 tries and 2 hours. This one with chapter 3 and 4 is 150 minutes. It's a little bit harder. It has some show work questions, so that's a little bit more involved. But the others are 120 minutes. All the tests are 2 tries. The final is 1 try. So I think that gives you information on the testing and homework. The other thing that you can look at is your MML gradebook right here. And all of the things that you have tried will show up here. It'll show your grade. It'll show when you worked it. And this little bar graph will start changing. It shows how many assignments you've done. So you have 32 homeworks, 1 quiz, which is the final, and 5 tests. And your overall average will be right here. So you can always see where you stand any moment, okay? You can also look at your grades under assessments. This is the bright space, and I've got it synced to there. So if you go into grades here, there's the sections, and the tests are all at the bottom, so it'll show what your actual grade is. And this is weighted 30%, that's what that's saying. And then we get down here to the tests. Tests are weighted 50, you'll have your grades here, and then your final exam is 20. So they should sync here either way, but MML gradebook is the one I'm used to using, and we are now syncing into here. So I think that will get you there. Let's go back here and see if there's anything else. I think that's going to do it. It's going to be a quick 8 weeks. I know that sounds like a ways away, but it's going to go quickly. So get in, get busy. Let me know when you need help.